The letter is not meant to stop lending Pakistan, number one. In fact, we are the major source who is behind this ongoing program. Aurangzeb Khan, Federal Finance Minister, he is actually a Dutch national. Khyber Pakhtunkhwa total debt is 630 billion rupees. If you compare with the Pakistan debt, it's 65,000 billion rupees. The recent embargo or the ban on Imran Khan meetings, so he mentioned this to Shehbaz Sharif. Other than that, I don't know. Most of the talks was on the business.
Hello and welcome to Dawn News English. With the new government now in action, we've got the Finance Minister for Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Muzzamil Aslam. Thank you so much for joining us. Initially, of course, your comments. You've taken a province which is different from where you have been functioning all your life, and there's considerable amount of criticism that will Mr. Aslam be able to handle a province that he's not been part of, or he doesn't know the province so well. What would you like to say first on this?
I think different people have different viewpoints, and if you go back, this province has been managed by people who belongs from this province, and you can see still there is a lot of room for improvement. So this criticism, I don't buy this criticism. You can see just Aurangzeb Khan, Federal Finance Minister, he is actually a Dutch national, and he all his life work outside Pakistan, and for the last 6 years he just came back to Pakistan and working for HPL. So now he got the portfolio of finance ministry. I don't know why people are saying this. I have been working in this economy for the last 20 years. I have been reporting, I have been analyzing this economy for the last 20 years. I know each and every problem as far as macroeconomic concern. So in fact, serving at KP, it's a subset of the federal government. Actually, it's not different. 93% of the revenue for the KP government actually coming from federal government. It's not a rocket science to
operate. Of course, and of course, when you know the economy, then you can just function from anywhere. I just wanted to pose this questions because so that we can put this one at rest. So, Muzzamil, why is it that everyone is saying that Khyber Pakhtunkhwa is in a financial mess right now? There is so much of debt that none of the provinces, if you compare it with Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, has the same amount. Would you like to throw some light on this, that why Khyber Pakhtunkhwa is in this financial mess?
I don't know from where this is coming from. This is not the reality. What actually, you are not the one only, but a lot of people are saying this. Khyber Pakhtunkhwa total debt is 630 billion rupees. If you compare with the Pakistan debt, it's 65,000 billion rupees. And 630 billion is less than $2.5 billion if I convert into dollars. Khyber Pakhtunkhwa GDP size is approximately $35 billion. So Khyber Pakhtunkhwa debt to GDP is not more than 10%. In fact, the service we do on the debt is very minimum, like 3-4 billion for the full year. So I don't know from where this is coming from. Khyber Pakhtunkhwa has used that. It's not true at all, number one. Number two, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa major revenues coming from government. And it's not unusual if you see other provinces, majority of their revenue are actually coming from the federal government. So, if federal government is sick or if they are not going well, so, automatically it affects the provincial government. If federal government have not been able to transfer the money which they owe, it's just like a salary. For example, if your company, they are not going to credit salary in your account on time, so you may survive 1 month, 2 months, but you cannot sustain that delays. So it has to be on time. So majority of the provinces, they are actually relying on the federal government disbursements. So federal government sometimes, they delay the funds. And just yesterday, if you see Ali Amin, the CM of KP, he met Prime Minister, and he told him, you need to clear our areas. So, he assured him, okay, we will take this forward. And after 19th of March, my team will work on it. So it all depends, how quickly we get the funds. and we can manage.
Then you can start functioning. But Muzammil, since yesterday, this meeting of Chief Minister Khyber Pakhtunkhwa with the Prime Minister is being focused. People are talking about it. It's been looked as a step towards reconciliation between PTI and PMLN and the government in place at the federal. So is that the case? Is really a reconciliation happening between Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf and PMLN?
I don't think so. It's a relationship between two offices, the KP government office and the federal government office. And this relationship has to be independent of the political viewpoints or the political differences. So yesterday, when KPCM met the Prime Minister of Pakistan, it was
Yes.
not a KPPTI president met the PMLN president. So it is actually yesterday or in future, these two offices have to maintain,
Working
the
relationship.
working relationship. But whatever the differences, they are not aligned. Still, we have our own viewpoint on the election and whatever happened, and they have their own viewpoint. So we don't need to mix it. And earlier than this meeting, lot of people were creating confusion that KP government might not cooperate with the federal government, or federal government may give the tough time to the KP government.
Yes.
It should not happen, or it should be independent of whatever our political views are.
That's very good to hear that, at least the smooth functioning of the government should take place, and all the political statements and whatever politics the two parties exercise is not coming to the way. So, Muzammil, I would also like to ask you the IMF deal that's everyone is talking about, that we have to go into, Pakistan has to go into a new IMF program. And this new IMF program is supposed to be impose much more stricter conditionalities to the people of Pakistan. Is that true?
Yes, very much true. First of all, we are in the one program, which is a 9-month standby program, and this will expire by this month end. And already the IMF team, they are on the ground talking to the federal government for the second review. And after the completion of the second review, the government would get $1.2 billion. Actually, this is easy, or nobody is talking about this $1.2 billion. Everybody is concerned what's next, what kind of program we are going to get, whether IMF going to put tough conditionalities on that or not, whether the program is going to be start earlier or it will take time. So it all depends. Initially, what I read and what I heard from the government is they are expecting to start program ASAP basis. And Shehbaz Sharif actually instructed his economic team that they should engage IMF for the new program immediately. But the IMF response is on the new program is, so far we have not seen any response from IMF on the new program. So they said, we are going to come here to finish or to close this second review. So they are here for the second review. They are not here for the next program. So yesterday I was hearing Aurangzeb Khan in one of the program. He mentioned that he'll be going to IMF spring sessions in mid-April, and this is where these talks for the new program will initiate it or will start, and he'll come to know what exactly is in IMF mind for the next program. So he's hoping to get a long duration extended program, but still there is a lot of if and buts. How the program going to progress, the new program, or what are the conditionalities IMF is looking at. We can get the clue of all this maybe by the conclusion of this program, maybe on 19th, what IMF says about Pakistan economic health. And that will be the guidelines, if their comments on the health is good. So we may see quicker than expected program. If they see, there are serious risks Pakistan is going through. So we might see some tough prior conditions from IMF before they kickstart the new program.
Mr. Muzammil, I think what the economist had been talking about, and you would be sharing more info on this, that what we need to do exactly is now, if we enter another IMF program, despite the fact we will have to now somehow broaden the tax net. We will have to get the retailers on board. We will have to get the real estate on board, the agriculture on board. Do you really think that such steps can be taken by a political government?
When we had caretaker government, people were saying it is not the mandate of caretaker government. They cannot impose new additional taxes on public. It is the domain of the political government. When political government comes into play, people usually say, political government can't take harsh decisions. Otherwise, people, who voted for them, they will protest. So every time we have the reason to delay or defer these kind of tough reforms and taxes. But to be very honest, now we came to that inflection point. We cannot delay it. If the federal government today, if they are not going to pass on or the new taxes, eventually they will not be able to function properly because they are operating at a very limited resource base at the moment. Whatever the taxes we are taking at the moment, they are actually going into the debt servicing of Pakistan. Nothing is left for other operations or for the operation of the government. And our lender, they are much more skeptical now at the moment, and they are not actually lending us the money the way or the quantum of the money we wanted. They wanted to see us, to increase the tax base, cutting down the subsidies, etc., 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 which will eventually reduce our deficit level as well. So now we don't have any space. We don't have any 9/11 at the moment going on. So we get extra support, something like this. And we have to pay a lot of debt at the moment. Our debt is, in fact, IMF have mentioned it's at very high risk level at the moment. Just in a matter of year, it will not be sustainable at all. So if your debts are not sustainable, how you're going to go forward? Eventually you will be defaulted on your obligations. So there is no choice at all for the government at the moment. They have
Okay,
to
so
go all out.
they have to go, and you understand it very well that how important it is for Pakistan to enter another program with IMF. So then the question arises that on the political front, why do you think the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf chose to write a letter, and the letter in itself meant, or the essence of it was that maybe this government won't be able to return back your money. You must think twice before even lending it. So do you think these political gimmicks are actually taxing Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf? I mean, they will tax Pakistan later if they were agreed upon, but it's actually taxing your own party.
First of all, what our point is, the letter is not meant to stop lending to Pakistan, number one. In fact, we are the major source who is behind this ongoing program. Last time IMF came to Zaman Park, they have asked our consent for this program. If we had issues, so we can say at that time, no, you can go ahead on your own risk, don't ask us. But we give them unconditional support.
Right.
Later on in November, when IMF came, they again contacted us and they wanted again our consent. So we told them at that point of time, listen, in July, our leadership was available, but now they are in jail. Imran Khan is in jail. So there is no point of contacting us.
Okay.
But they said, no, it's a condition from our board. They want us to meet you guys. In the interest of country, we met them again before Christmas, and they released the tranche.
At Christmas, you're saying there was yet another meeting, and this was with Mr. Khan, and was it in Adiala?
No, that was with available leadership outside,
Right.
Barrister Gohar, Mr. Rauf Hassan.
Okay.
So, when we met them, the tranche released in January, in fact, to be precise, January of 11. So we have supported this program throughout, despite all happened to us. They didn't allow us to contest election with our symbol, so many things, etc., etc., etc. So when we met IMF, the first thing they told us, this program is actually terminate at the start of the new government, and the new government will come after elections. So at that point of time, we asked them, okay, how you can guarantee that the election will happen? Because last year there was all delay in elections. First provincial
Absolutely.
elections, then followed by the federal government elections after when caretaker took over. Okay. So they said, government told us it will be three-part program. First installment will go to the PDM, second to the caretaker, and the third and the last one will go to the new government. Until unless election will happen, this tranche will remain stuck.
Oh.
So they have told us. So what we did is we just reminded them. First of all, the first paragraph of our letter is, we thank you and we continuously support you for the programs you are going or taking in Pakistan. But we reminded them whatever the discussion we had with them, and we told them, kindly, although we know it is not your mandate, but kindly tell government before this current program expires,
Okay.
whatever the election disputes or the claims we have, let's just settle. And please ask the whatever the channels available in Pakistan, the legal channels, for example, the election tribunal, etc., etc., they do it. Or the organization called Patan, and the other one is
Yes, you have named
uh,
that in the letter. You must have also seen, Mr. Aslam, that IMF has said that this is not their mandate. However, they do support free and fair elections, but this is not their mandate. Their mandate is only limited to financial matters. Since yesterday, and you must know this, that the information minister, federal information minister Atta Tarar, is talking about a letter now, a sort of a petition on Google, that PTI is actually looking at, and this is what they did. They're writing to the EU and asking them not to give Pakistan its GSP plus status. Would you like to throw some light on this also?
we are talking on Dawn English at the moment, right? And you must have Dawn News. I have with me at the moment. This is the headline.
Yeah.
Okay, the one, and your newspaper is confirming this. PTI reject accusations. EU delegation denies receiving anything official. I think that is enough to
Yeah,
defend
put
our
all
party
of this
point
at
of view.
rest. Okay.
And
Okay.
this Atta Tarar, he actually lied to the nation. He should understand now he's not anymore talking from the PMLN media cell. He's talking from the platform of Information Ministry of Pakistan. So before he make himself a joke, he should understand what he's talking. Number one. Number two, I can understand you guys are talking about our letter to IMF and we have nothing to hide. We did press conference, we disclosed the content, everything. So we don't need to hide anything if we are going to do anything with EU, right? But let me take you back in the past. You remember we were in grey list, FATF grey list,
Absolutely.
and there were
Absolutely.
34 action plans FATF gave to us. Actually, last PMLN government dragged Pakistan into the grey list, and PTI had to implement all the action plans to get rid of this grey list. At one point, there were some amendments required from Assembly and the voting required from Assembly. The same people have refused to cooperate with us, and they said, give us NRO, otherwise we will vote against it. What was it? God forbid, if we didn't manage at that time amendments from the Assembly, we will be in the blacklist then. We managed that. Nobody was talking about them, the kind of thing they did. On IMF same point, IMF asked us for the State Bank independence law. We need to call the joint session to get this law done. Same people, they gave speeches against IMF. They voted against the amendment. Luckily, again, we managed to get the law passed. and IMF released the tranche. But for instance, at that time, again, if we failed to get the law passed, the IMF program were halted at that point of time. No media, no anchor actually showing them what they have done in 2022, these two things. And on contrary, we supported IMF. We took country out of this mess. We implemented all
Right.
34 FATF action plans. Similarly, on the IMF thing, the amendments. But people are targeting us. We are actually being fair, and in fact, this ongoing program is because of PTI support.
Stand by
And
that you spoke of to
yes,
that
yes, stand
they
by.
had met
And
at
the other
Samara.
program, we already said this, it is inevitable. So why can't this government or the people, they settle the dispute with us and take things forward? They don't want, they are not interested to, settle down the thing with
So
us.
lastly,
At
because
the same time,
we're running out of time, Muzammil, in the meeting that Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Chief Minister had with the Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, although you said this is a meeting and a working relation between two offices, and it shall remain like that. But at any given point, do you have an idea? Was Mr. Khan discussed that what all, because you have so many issues regarding the way PTI has been treated. Was it also discussed or no?
in the meeting, Chief Minister
Yes,
meeting,
in the meeting.
I was not part of the meeting. So whatever I heard it through media and
Okay.
their
All right.
post press conference. The one thing actually was mentioned is the recent embargo or the ban on Imran Khan meetings. So he mentioned this to Shehbaz Sharif. Other than that, I don't know. Most of the talks was on the business. Whatever the
Khyber
issues
Pakhtunkhwa
PT
and the
government
federal
is.
government.
Yeah,
All right. All right.
there was nothing political.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Muzzamil Aslam, Finance Minister Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, for giving us your time. And let's see how you perform. And, we will be having more of you on the shows to know more regarding all that is being said about Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, the financial crunch, how well you have sorted that out in the given time, and what sort of relief you will provide to the people over there. Thank you so much for being with us. That's all for now. Allah Hafiz.